There you go. Alright, so it's can you tell real quick, Jen, what this is? Like, it's a scrim, what SR is your team, that kind of stuff. Hey Zerlat, hey Proud Main. Can you like real quickly tell us what SR and scrim and, or is it a tournament game or tournament? Damn. Okay. I'm digging it. How to do this, but I'm a May. That's fine. What was the Uniliga match against Haiku's team? Ooh, I see. And what is R is this usually? My team 3.2? Okay. Their team was 3.8. I see. That's actually pretty cool. Hey SI. That's actually pretty fucking cool, not gonna lie. University match. Alright, let's see. Your lineup up. I missed it. Press tab again. No! I wanna see what you're playing. God damn it. My reactions. Dude. Whatever. You're playing Hammond. Widow. Actually, I think this was winnable, but we lost. Okay, you're playing Hammond. Dude, I'm missing it every time. I'm over it. Ist aufgestanden, Progi, deine Stimme ist broken. Bisschen, ja. Use and do go frames back. Whatever, it's fine. You're playing Hammond, Widow, Mercy. I think I saw a Farah. Yeah. So you're playing a DPS comp. Okay. That is interesting, because on King's Row, DPS comps are not that easy, but they're very doable because you have 3 high grounds. You have this high ground, you have the clock high ground, and you have the clock high ground extends towards over here as well. So it's actually not that bad if you can control these 3 high grounds, but you don't have a lot of space for this choke and from statue if they play goats. So there's like you have to play it properly, then it's doable. But if goats intercepts you early, it's quite rough. 1 support, 1 tank for DPS, yeah. But we'll see. Summer, Soldier, Farah, and Widow. Okay, so Soldier and Widow are rough, especially if you play against goats. I mean, it depends what they're playing, but I assume they play goats. If you play against goats, you would probably swap the Soldier for a Hanzo. It's not my birthday. Thanks for the bit. So what you would do usually is your Farah would play above point, probably from this side, shoot here. Your Hanzo would climb up this thing. Your Widow would shoot anywhere here or here. Or even flank, I don't know where the Widow would be, but anywhere where she can get value. Hey, Ironic Smirk. And then, who was the last one? Sombra. Usually Sombra's job is to force people on point. Now the problem with King's Row is that the point is basically... like, there's no space. Where's Goat's gonna play? They're either gonna hold you here or statues. So if you force point, it's like... it doesn't do anything, right? Because the point's right next to them where they play. So it doesn't do much. So Sombra here is a bit harder to play. That's the hardest here to play. But so usually what Sombra does is she bunkers up in here, goes around, tries to farm people, hack from above maybe. Like she's the hero that will go from behind. So they have to turn this way. Your Farah can shoot from here, then your Hanzo from up here, and your Widow from up here maybe. Or your Widow from up here, and your Farah will play above the point. And your ball will boop them away from wherever they want to run. That's how you want to play. Let's see. Hey, Arctic to make sure I have a good DPS comp and heroes that where we are comfortable. Okay, I see. I mean, Soldier is doable. The problem with Soldier is just Soldier will have to run all the way around here every time to get high ground, and Hanzo can just climb up here, or if they push him, Hanzo can climb back up here, or can climb up here, or in statues. Soldier will just have to run away and be useless. So it's just easier rotation for Hanzo, and Hanzo deals more damage on shields. But it's okay. I'm here. OPM is so great. And most Punchman. I watched the first season actually. Let's see. Okay, I don't even know what they're playing yet. Okay, that looked a lot like goats. Okay, here's one thing. If they play towards this side, chances are they will rotate through here. Now, you have a Tracer actually. Tracer is not that much value against goats. I would swap this hero for another spam hero. Like, if you play Soldier, you can play Hanzo as well, or you can play Junkrat. Tracer is not the worst in this setup because you have 2 heroes. Like, her job basically, if you play the setup, is to make space for your Sombra, because the Brig will and the Diva will look at her and the Farah. So your Sombra can get free hacks. So it's not the worst to play with Tracer here, because also it self-sustains. But against goats, it's hard. You need a really good tracer play to make good value with this. Tracer instead of soldier. Okay, so your ball on high ground. Ball should not be the guy high. So ball's job in general against goats in this setup is you force them off point by just spamming here. Goats can't stand on point if you spam with 3 heroes like Farah, your soldier, whoever the fuck, you're somewhere from behind. They can't just stand on point here because they will lose their shields and their resources, right? So they will go back here and hide. Now ball's job at that point is just sit on point somewhere here. So they can't just hide here. They'll have to force the ball off point or do a rotation on someone else, which is usually better. Because if they go on the ball's just a bait here. He's just not looking like a snack. That's ball's job here, looking on point like a snack. So they're like, oh my god, get this fucking ball on point. Then they run here. Nufara can shoot from above. They use speed boost probably to get to him. And then they waste their resources. As soon as they waste their resources, they're susceptible for your fire damage, for your tracer, for your sombra. So ball's job here is not to set up a good dive against goats. If you pile drive into this pile of shit right here, you're most likely dead, or you will live with like 100 HP and you gain nothing from it unless they fuck up. Because D.Va still has Matrix, you will eat all of the fire rockets while this engage happens. Brick still has Bash, she has her E up. Even if you manage to pile drive full damage on the Zen, he'll get armor pack. Like, you would have to have the super cleanest fucking tracer blink in with pile drive on the Zen, and even then, it's not a given that he dies. Hey, Giga. So the job of Hammond is not to set up a pile drive in the first place against this comp. The job of Hammond is to look like a bait, a snack, on point, force them somewhere where they're not comfortable with. But let's see what happens. Your Farah positioning is great right now, by the way. I want to point this out. Farah up here, she knows the only threat to her is if she gets Zen headshot, which is unlikely because he's getting pressured by your ball and tracer, or if the D.Va flies at him. But you're pocketing him, so there's no way he will just solo die to a D.Va. Now, I don't like that you hard commit in here, because all Goat has to do is go back in here, and then you used all your stuff. Your ball used pile driver, just used a bunch of blinks, probably will have to recall. Your Farah's out of position. Now, if you peel in here, and those two get out, your Farah might be in a little bit of trouble. But generally, right now, if your team's in, this is a good position, because he knows no one can touch him. So he shoots at this. Like, this Rhine Shield's useless here, but let's see. This might be a bit rough. Can you get their Zen somehow, which I'm not really sure how. Okay, not gonna lie. Here's one thing, not gonna lie. These pile drives were nuts. He hit a lot of people with both of his pile drives. But if you play against a team that is really good at goats, Reinhardt and Brig will block the pile drive. This is not gonna happen. He will get bashed immediately, and he'll be at like 200 HP right after first engage. He's not gonna get a good E off either, because Reinhardt will not drop his shield until this guy used his E. And shield, if you didn't know, shield blocks the Hammond amount of people around him. There's no before it was called. Yeah, that's fine. It's still, I don't know. I don't like engaging here onto goats, because it gives an opportunity to peel their backline inside here, which is impossible for Tracer to shoot, and Farah, and wherever your soldier or whatever the heck it is. It's impossible to go inside hotel against goats, and they still have all their resources. I don't know how you won that. I think it's because this guy managed to get 2 thick pile drives, which they didn't block, or they didn't deal with him at all. He got like a 5-man pile drive or some shit. It's crazy. But, I mean, it works out, but I don't think it's the best play you could have made. Okay, barrage needs to be called. It's a good barrage, but he needs to call. One thing, people are like, no, this barrage was not necessary, don't use it. Against goats, you make sure you get these kills and clean up and be fast. Otherwise, this guy might get his mech back, this guy will stall on point forever, this clown might get beat. Don't be greedy against goats. This barrage is actually good, what he's doing here. Because people always, also, like, even if he uses it, he'll get it back very quickly, and using barrage into goats is not a great ultimate unless you combine it with EMP or something, because this guy will just fly at you and eat it, or just kill himself to kill you. So Barrage is not an ultimate that is easy and reliable most of the time. So getting 3 cleanup kills to make it faster, really good use of his ultimate. I like it. Your boy's Harrowhead isn't. Bruh. Nice troll. Should you build Barrage quickly versus Goats? Yeah, exactly. At the house. Was los mit euch? It was called? Oh. Oh, you mean the Zen? It was called. It was the Zen one, right? Okay, what are you guys switching to? Goats? Okay. This is someone a lot of teams do in something like Blizzard World, where you have more space, where you go DPS comp to counter their goats. Now, if you do this, just one thing, Jen. If you do this, wait a little bit before you swap, because they might think, hey, they're on DPS comp. Let's swap off. We can't play goats into this. So wait a bit until they swap, and if they don't swap, you can still swap. Bonata, thanks so much for 300 bits. So if you successfully win first fight and you plan on swapping to goats, wait 5 seconds. So you can swap, and they already made their swap, and then they're on a scuffed comp because maybe they swapped their Brig for a Hog and their Zen to a Moira. So they play quad tank, and goats should win that. So give it like 5 seconds, and then you swap. And see if they're reacting. Look, they didn't even swap. Okay, they swapped their Zen for an Ana, which is already a win, I guess. Because now you're playing goats against Ana goats, and literally what you do. Just one sec. Literally what you do with goats against Ana goats. You grass, force bubble on him, use your bubble. After that, you run at the Reinhardt with full matrix, and he can't get healed by the Ana. This is ranked? No, it's not. It's a tournament game. Okay, one thing, again, you're not really riding on these walls. If I watch Funny Astro, which is one of the best Lucius, he will always be on one of these walls, riding around, being annoying, shooting from this side. So if they walk in, you're behind them. Like in Goats, you're not really in any danger if you're on high ground, because Brick can bash you, don't one can shoot you, Zarya and Diva. You have to be careful of the Rhine swings. But generally, you want to be on one of these high grounds, because if they like, let's say you're on this high ground and they push behind this corner, but they're also low, like you traded resource, you can boop him deeper where he doesn't want to be, where he's too deep, and then you get a big advantage from it. So make sure you're on one of these walls as Lucio, and look for aggressive boops. Lucio is a carry in Goats v Goats. Ooh. Like also, if you were on one of these walls here, you wouldn't get shattered from the Reinhardt here, who gets a thick shatter. That's a big one. I mean, you lose this fight anyways because you don't have beat and you don't have trance, I believe, because you just swapped. But make sure you're playing around these walls so it's not. I mean, sometimes when you amp up, for example, you can stay in the middle of your team so everyone gets it. There's no problem. But make sure on default you play on one of these walls so this doesn't happen. My Lucio is stuck, dude. My Lucio is absolute dog shit. Trust me, I know how it feels to play Lucio. I'm trying with the wall ride. It's not easy for me either. I'm not a wall ride kind of guy. Okay. Right side, this is actually good. Urian took the scuffed way, but going out right side against Goats through this high ground is usually the right call, because they might spawn hold you, or if they're fast, like they might try set up here and you might catch them, because if they're already set up here, it's quite hard to do anything. Usually, here's one thing. If they kill you and they manage to set up high ground here, one thing you have to do is send your Lucio to card. And then they will have to make a decision. Either they let the card C9 or they go back. If they go back, your Lucio will most likely get out. So that's one thing you can outplay this position, but generally this movement here is good because you get the high ground and you get to choose when to engage. If you go low ground, defense can decide when to engage as well. I think I should practice wall rides, but me lazy. Yeah. Okay, this is an aggressive drop play. Now, I don't know, they should have graph by now or something like that. This is not bad. It's a little bit dropping super aggro out of this window when they're so far away is a little bit wonky, because you see your Zarya will drop to the side, some people will drop to this side, your Rhine drops here, so it's like it's too far. If they stand here, you can aggro drop, But dropping this far into them aggressive, I would rather drop here, walk in, and then speed. It's a bit more clean. The call itself is not bad because you don't have ultimates. If they grab you, it's a free fight anyway, so you might actually trade someone. And at this position right here where the card is, if you lose 6 people to trade for Reinhardt or for someone like Brig or Zarya, it's good enough. They can't hold here anymore. They will have to back, so it's a win anyways, even if you lose the fight. So getting one guy here is your objective. Everyone except Lucio. If you get Lucio, they will still hold here because he will be back quickly. I think I will do this match just to count down for speed boost. I mean, usually the job of Lucio in this comp is ult tracking and calling when your amps are up and where to go, but this move is not bad. What you're doing is the right call because you have no ultimates and you want to get 1 kill, but I would like to drop and then do it because it's a bit more cleaner. You guys are super split right now. Yeah, they grab you, they grab combo you even. You get kill on Ryan. This is actually exactly what the goal of this fight was. You get this clown. You might even team wipe here. They only get 1 kill out of this graph combo though, so it's even playable. Yeah, this is playable. Even though the graph comboed your ass. Like right here, even if you would have lost this fight, there's still a win in your books because you got the Ryan. They couldn't hold there anymore. So first dropped in speed. Now, you can drop into them. The thing is just, they were so far back that dropping into them is like, it's, I don't know, you're basically skydiving into them. If they're this close, like let's say you drop from high ground here, if they're this close, you can drop into them. There's an example on Night Market Lijiang where you do this sometimes, where you drop into a Brig aggressively. But if they're this far back, you can't drop in. Like, it's too far. You can't aggro drop. You will have to drop close and walk up a bit. It's a bit too far for the aggro drop. It's like, let's say you just walk, like let's say for whatever reason you come from this side, and they're standing at the back of this point. You already amp here. See my point? Your amp will last till you're here, and then the amp is gone, and they can just back off, or like they can react to it. That's the problem with them being too far. You engage when they're too far away. That's my point. It doesn't have to do with the dropping. It's more like you engage when they're too far away. So what did they use? They used graph combo there. Used rally. Okay, good boop on this clown. It's a good cleanup. Now let's see if you plan something. Okay, I'm digging it. You're not really ult tracking what they have, but you set up your own plans. Okay. Pretty good. He wants to do flank shatter. Okay. First get a little bit closer, then speed. Yeah, whenever you use something big, like, this is the only cooldown Lucio has, right? So it's his biggest thing. It's the only play he can usually make with besides boops. So make sure if you use a big cooldown like this, it's the same with Zarya bubble. Make sure if you use one of these, it gets value. Check the shatter instead of flank shatter. Okay, but I like it. Now you don't have a counter plan, or you don't even know what they do, but the flank shatter setup is a fine setup. Now, one problem is if you play against a good team, they'll realize Reinhardt will always be with the team. If you don't see Reinhardt, you know he's flanking. Now, one good thing here is, even if they know your Rein's not there, they will have to touch, because the card is close, right? So, they can't really wait. Ooh, that's a good shot. That's good enough. Now, I don't know if this guy is shatter. I didn't really track, but it already peeled and got... It already peeled them back and got the cap. That's actually really good. The Ryan's pretty low. Yeah, they didn't realize that your Ryan was missing for some reason. That's actually fine. If you boop her in there, it's not terrible booping her on that mini. Even if she gets that HP thing, there's no way. If your Ryan's with you, there's no way she'll get past the Ryan and out of there. So no, fuck up. That boop is fine. There's nothing wrong with that boop.
Ja, ich hol noch kurz JVS ab.
Okay, now, you did use shatter, they used nothing. I would assume they have a shatter by now or something. Whenever they have shatter or graph, you have to play a little bit further from your team, and you absolutely have to play on one of these walls if they have shatter. It's important. I killed our Brig. Wait, how? Look right here, one thing you can also do is go on access on the left side on this high ground if you don't want to wall ride, because these wall rides are a little bit wonky on this part. Because you don't have any cover and the corners are weird, so you can't just play inside access and not get shattered. But let's see. We would go like Progis. Unfortunate. Look, you get shattered again. You need this beat for the shatter. So you absolutely have to be on one of these walls. Even if you're not good with the wall rides, if you have beat and you track they have shatter, you have to be on one of these walls so you can peel this. What the fuck? Wait, do you have an Ana? Did he get slapped? How are you not dead? You have an Ana. Since when do you have an Ana? I don't try on a wall ride. Dude, since when do you have an Ana? What the fuck? His speed now is really good. What the heck?
Ich weiß leider nicht, wo sie ist in der Graph.
That beat was good. Dude, you got saved so hard. Oh my god. Ooh. Wait, what happens here? You win this fight super hard because of that sleep on the Ryan. His shatter was big. They don't follow up on that shatter for some reason. Then you beat the grab. Your diva gets booped. That's unfortunate. Your brig's too deep. Your brig can't solo chase this. This is one problem. Your brig can't solo chase this. If your brig's frontline here, she must have the Ryan right behind her. Or it's not possible. So make sure your brig is not solo frontlining against goats. Now she's unlucky because his fire strike hits her, but still, if this brig knew you would bash, he would just counter bash your bash and you're dead. So don't do this. That is also a fight that should never be losable. Even if your diva gets booped and they lose your clutches, you were like 2 up. Their frontline died. Their Ryan died. I think their diva died. Whatever the heck died. So your Reinhardt needs to be the frontline. You would rather don't get greedy against goats. Even with goats against goats, you don't get greedy. You would rather let them walk away and take all of this space than lose this fight right now by throwing. Yeah, that is sad to see. Because that fight was definitely won. And they used so much. They used Shatter and Graph, and you won that fight with only beat. But yeah, generally, you guys are not really ult tracking what they're doing. Like what they're doing. You're setting up your place, calling what you want to do, but generally try to call what they want to do as well.
Du gehst manchmal unter, leider, weil ich dich hier nicht höher stellen kann. Okay. Ich speede in 3, 2, 1, go.
Look right here. I assume you want to speed Shatter here, is what your Ryan's thinking. You speed again a little bit too early. Look right here, you don't even see them. You don't know if they hold close corner or far. You only saw the Zarya real quick to poke. So this is again the kind of thing where you speed a bit too early, so your speed doesn't get a lot of value, because all they do is they see your amp, they go back, they wait out the amp, and then they can re-engage, and then they have heal amp, and you will only have passive heal. Gonna play some games, have fun. I enjoy Giga. I had to use in-game sound because this got lagged. Oh, that's a shame actually. That is actually a shame. Look, right now they just peel back and your amp gets little to no value because they were too far away. You want to do it when, like, if your Ryan's here and their Ryan's here, that's when you want to amp, because once you're attached to them, even if they amp as well, they will not get out of range of your damage. So if they try to peel here, when you amp, they will not get out of range from swings and Zarya and Diva. So try to keep the amp for a little bit closer when you're sure you get value. Also, I think your Ryan thought you would go for speed Shatter. If that's the case, you have to also wait till you're close. You have to basically surprise them. You do it here, and then he jumps through the shield or something. Because if you do it from far away, your Ryan will never get past the enemy Reinhardt shield. That's a bit of a shame. So fuck up. No, relax, Jen. Relax. You guys are doing fine.
Ich bin runtergefallen, ich bin runter.
I booped you. That happens. This hole. I can tell a story about this hole in ranked, dude. I get booped so many times in this stupid pit by Lucius. Especially after the new change of boops. It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. New boops are stupid.
Wir haben bald Graph. Wir können mit Trans und J. Die haben uns gegraphed.
Don't play right side of payload. Well, sometimes you have to. You just have to be
Okay.
careful.
Ich spiele.
If they
3, 2,
lose
1,
you,
go.
it's
Sorry,
gonna,
ich
you have to
hab's,
keep track of
voll
it.
falsch gecountdownt.
Okay, this is fine. They don't get value at all. You rally in.
2, 1, go.
So you rally in, but your rally is too early. Let's see. When do you rally? You rally right here. That's the same thing with your amp. If you rally here, and they're here, they'll just walk away usually. Now they take the fight because they want to set up their shatter. But because you have armor, you're not gonna die of the shatter right here. He gets shatter on you, which is not the best value, but it's value. He gets the shatter on one guy. You could die, but you have rally going. So I would rather back out, wait out the rally. You do rally too early. Your rally and your amps are a bit too early. So try to do them like you want to do them. You want to use those ultimates the moment they can't disengage anymore, which is when you're super close. And then you walk in with rally and they can't run away from it. They can't match it, so they have to go away, but they can't. Because I don't wall ride again. Yeah, you have to wall ride more
3, 2,
on
1,
Lucio,
go.
but
Sorry, ich hab's voll
I know
falsch
the feeling.
gecountdownt.
Also if you count down wrong, don't mention it.
Spiele. 3, 2, 1, go. Sorry, ich hab's.
Look, that it doesn't matter. No one didn't. If you didn't say anything, no one would even notice that you messed that up. It doesn't matter, Jen. This is just cluttering comms right here. So don't talk about it. It doesn't matter. If you make a mistake, say it after a fight. Be like, that was my bad. Like if they argue about something, then you just say, I fucked it up. Go next. I'm cringe. No, you're not.
voll falsch
Relax.
gecountdownt.
You're a good teammate. You're trying to help your team.
Wir sind geboobt.
Their Lucio is actually carrying right now.
Richtig nice von denen geset up. Das haben die gut gemacht.
Wir könnten Disruption noch für Bomb gehen.
Okay, you have Grav Diva Bomb now.
Wir haben jetzt nur Combo, oder? Wollen wir
If
das
they
vorher ausspielen?
huge boob, no, it's nuts. If you grab Diva Bomb now, one thing, whenever you grab Diva Bomb, make sure you force the E bubble. Mich eventuell enden, ich möchte nicht mal sagen. Schreib mir auf Discord. Wenn du meinem Discord-Server bist, kannst du mir schreiben, Zelle. Als DM. There you go.
Speed in 3, 2, 1, go.
Du stehst immer noch hier, pass auf. Er macht immer das.
Okay, you block their shatter, you grab, they just use their E-bubble. You didn't force it, but they just used their E-bubble, so this is gonna be good. You have to keep your Rhine up now. Yeah, your Rhine can't swing. If you grab Diva Bomb, you're not swinging. If the plan is grab Diva Bomb, you don't swing. The grab is you. Look, he's swinging. The swing doesn't do anything. You don't need to swing into a grab Diva Bomb. You're not gonna kill anyone by swinging twice, because your Diva can't shoot. Your Zarya's most likely looking at you, trying to keep you up with her E-bubble. When you pin, Oisha's shorter than normal. What? Bad legs. So, anyways, so right here, your Ryan's doing the mistake of swinging. You don't need to swing when you grab Diva Bomb. There's only a chance that you might end up dying, which he does. So he gets punished for it. So they already used E-bubble. So the only thing he has to do is pin here. He swings here and dies for it. So don't do that. I look weird? Okay. Okay, danke Salat. Also, the boop, you didn't even boop here. So one thing, if your Ryan dies here,
Okay.
if your Ryan dies here, which he does, look for a boop at the end of the graph. I think the graph ends right here. If you boop them upwards, if you boop from below them upwards, you might catch someone that you didn't boop on the low ground and will die because the shield doesn't catch them anymore. So at the end of, if your Ryan doesn't manage to pin at the end of the graph, you will always look for a boop, so the Ryan can't shield everybody. Like you can even boop him towards it, hoping that he would land behind the Diva Bomb and can't turn in time. That kind of stuff. I look
Ryan,
tired.
Ryan? Okay.
I just woke up, but I took a shower. My hair is a little bit wet still, I guess. I don't know.
Wollt ihr Disruption gehen?
Ja.
I have a decent schedule, but I have to keep it for a couple of days.
Unlucky.
Yeah, you have to go back here now.
Ja, du hast
Now, third point is hard to
Ich will auch.
what's it called?
Weiß nicht, aber also, wenn du die ganze Zeit gefokust wirst.
Third point is hard to cap. Now you go DPS comp, which is I like the call because you guys are obviously running into a brick wall right now with goats against goats. So you try to change it up. And third point is probably the best part of the map where you can run DPS again, because Streets is Streets is rough because you have these tight corridors where goats is really is really strong at. I don't like the what, but it didn't work yet. No, you keep the Lucy. No, this is fine. Lucy solo heal is what used to happen. So this is fine. If you have the beat here, this is totally fine. You will have to play with this. You can sustain him with M. You can aggro beat here.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I don't like the McCree pick. McCree is a target that can get run down here. So if you okay, this was fine. If you run DPS comp against goats, don't get a McCree that has no high ground to play on third. Get a Hanzo or something. Or if he plays McCree, he has to walk all the way around onto catwalk. On high ground, well, I'll show you where you should go. So you can play right here. If he goes McCree, he has to walk all the way up here and play from up here so they can't reach him. If he wants to do that. If he plays here main, they will just run at him mid-fight every time and he'll be useless. I have beat, should I still switch? No, you don't. Beat's good. You stay.
Muss eigentlich auf Lucy bleiben, oder? Okay,
You should go Mercy. No, you should go Mercy here because you have a bar.
Mercy wäre nicht schlecht.
Okay.
Yeah, Mercy. Mercy is the pick. Whenever you solo heal, Mercy is the pick. Because Mercy can peel for herself with the shift. Anna has nade, but if Goats is on top of you on Anna, you're dead. Like, if you would play Anna here in main, it's the same thing with the McCree. They just walk at you, and you're useless. So Mercy is definitely the pick here. You have a D.Va, so McCree is fucked, pretty much. He's a hit skin player. Well, then even Widow would be better here, because Widow could go on high ground. Like, look, he's not gonna do anything. If he walks in, Zarya will zap him. He's not gonna kill that Zarya through all his peel. If he plays far back, he will deal no damage. He's basically shooting shield a little bit. Widow could do a little bit better because if they drop their shield, he can still get headshots. Widow can go on high grounds. Zarya can't just walk into him. That kind of stuff. I didn't know I sent such sure. Okay. So Kree's not a good pick into Goats. Now if he only plays that hero, it's fine, but then he has to go high ground.
Okay.
Now if you play this comp, first of all, call your Barrage, my friend. These calls are important, calling Barrage, because if he calls Barrage, he's gonna be like, I'm gonna Barrage in a couple seconds, your Hammond can set up, so he takes most of the load. If he jumps in with Pal Drive into the enemy team while you're trying to Barrage, people will look at him first, and then we'll have to turn, and that's reaction time, and by that time you might have already killed someone, so try to set up a play with Barrage where you go in with Hammond and Pharah at the same time. Also, it's a little bit rough. You have to win one fight here in order to go. Also,
Counter, bitte.
Ja, das war, weil ich, das war so spontane Entscheidung.
Also, make sure you have a Sombra against Goats, because even if you lose most of your fights, the fight where you farm EMP is a failsafe win. So, whenever you play a DPS comp, you always want to have a Sombra, because in case you manage to lose most of your fights, which you shouldn't, because in general, it should counter what they're playing. But you want to have a Sombra just in case you fail. So you have the Q baton of the Sombra and have a failsafe win. D.Va player isn't too comfortable with Sombra, so he prefers Genji. But Genji doesn't do anything against Goats either. Genji sucks against Goats, exactly. Like, even if you Blade, there's still a break. Blade only works with Nanoblade, and even if you Nanoblade into Goats, it's not a win, because if they have trance, or if you get bashed, or if you get booped, or if you get shattered or graphed, or they have beat, or they have rally, it's still not like if they have any of their ultimates, anyone, and they counter it, Genji is bad. It worked on control. It did? Okay. Yeah, so on third, if you play a DPS comp, I mean, I get where you come from. These people, they can't play the right heroes, so you try to make up with this. It's a valiant effort. It's rough because these two heroes here, Genji and Kree, they both suck against Goats, so it's quite hard. Does your McCree not play Sombra? Because if he plays Sombra, you could put him on Sombra and maybe your off tank, I don't know, on something like Junkrat or Hanzo, because Junkrat into Goats is not that hard to play. He plays Sombra? Yeah, then you should do that. Put your hit scan on Sombra and put this guy on Junkrat or something.
Die haben echt gut gespielt am Ende. Die haben. Also,
Yeah, they played fine. They played fine. Don't take anything away from me. The way you took first point and streets was really, really good, Jen. You set up your place, you did your place, you swapped it, you forced them to swap from Zen to Anna, which is terrible, and then you rolled them with it, and then they swapped back to Zen at the end, I think. So that was really good. That first engage on first point where you destroyed them and then swapped to goats is really smart what you guys did. Now on third point, you had some struggles. First of all, you have to wall climb when they have shatter, so you don't get shattered with beat. That's a big one. Other than that, your setups were okay, but you didn't track any of their ultimates and what they wanted to set up. They had free ults and free stuff all the time. You didn't have plans to counter their stuff. You had like flank shatters, you called your graph combos, you called your plays, but like you called aggressive dropping. But the biggest mistakes you made were you weren't countering what they did, and you used your, like personally you used your amps a bit too early so far. Let's see. Hey, SC Moser.
Danke war nicht schlecht. Ja, richtig. Wir haben nur zu langsam rotate.
Genau.
Ja,
Okay.
richtig. Gib mir danke.
Pretty happy with the games. Was decently close, even though they were much higher. Yeah, exactly. You guys were doing fine. Moser, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Guten Mittag, dir auch. Okay, you go in bunker now. A bunker with 3 supports is... I don't know. I don't know yet. Now, I haven't tried this, but I'm thinking about it. It's not that terrible, because you have enough damage with this clown. And you're just trying to keep him alive. Like, all of these heroes enable... Like, Mercy and Baptiste enable him, and Zen Trance is something like... Like, Zen is also damaged, so it's not that bad. I'm actually don't... You know, we shouldn't play... No, I'm not sure if you shouldn't. It's not that terrible. Now, if they play goats, it might be a bit rough. One thing it also gives you can support your diva on point a lot. I'm not sure if it's bad. Like, it might be good. This might actually not be a bad setup. We junk Torp instead of Zena. That's fine. That's still fine. But also, I'm actually looking at this. I actually want to try this. I don't know if it's good or not.
Ja, dafür wollen wir halt das versuchen, dass du halt
Dude, I want to try this setup. Are you playing triple support? With our bunkers, we have zero idea how to rotate. Actually, zero. Okay, I'll explain it in a sec then.
Ja, wir können es gleich zeigen einfach. Also wir setupen ganz normal hier. Erstmal noch nicht zeigen.
So usually you will have a Junkrat with this setup. And the way you set up is you set up on this thing, and your Mercy, there's this hall right here, right? Where it's like a corridor. And your Mercy will play inside here. And your Zen will play on this window over here maybe, or you will hide as well. First of all, you have to scout what they have. If they have something like a dive setup, your Zen will come back to this high ground. And whenever someone dives you, you peel Zen from this side into corridor, or frontline from this side into corridor, and your Junkrat will absolutely destroy anyone that comes into this hallway. So, that's the way you peel. Whoever, like your Zen should play this high ground, your main bunk should play this high ground, and if you have a Junkrat, whoever jumps in here, goes in here. Now you have no Junkrat, you have Baptiste instead. So the way you peel with Baptiste, if they jump in with dive, or they have any kind of setup that wants to jump you, you just hold the ground. Because all you do is you put down the lamp and fight inside it, and dive has to back the fuck out. Now, rotation, if they play goats, here's the thing, if they play goats... Wait, I need a better angle.
hier drüber als Setup.
Yeah, this is fine setup.
Dann haben wir, sobald die hinten drum Treppe hochkommen, sobald wir sehen, dass wir es tun, dann gehen wir sofort hier rüber.
Achso, rechts.
Auf dem High Ground, auf den da.
Auf dem High Ground, durch den Tunnel zu den anderen. Aber jetzt können wir hoch,
Genau.
Und du gehst zuerst.
Okay, I'll explain one sec. If they play goats right here. Okay, if they play goats right here, you will start up here. Now, they will most likely run straight to point or go through hotel. If that happens, you can rotate to the other high ground here. But that's fine, it doesn't really matter. You just need an angle with your Bastion onto point where you can see them. But the bigger thing is, if they play goats, your Risa will put a shield onto the ground, onto the point, and your Diva will play behind it. And you will pocket your Diva together with your Zen. So she can touch the point. No one will drop besides your Diva. No one at all. If your Diva dies and you haven't won the fight by then, you lose. Don't do anything. You only put your Diva on point to contest. Didn't practice this with full team before. Yeah, if you drop with your Risa, she has no way of getting back up to safety. So she'll die after your shift. Our Diva drops, I think. Okay, let's see. Let's see.
Und du callst es, dass wir machen, ja? Also und du gehst schon vor, damit wir dich folgen.
They have a Pharah. Okay.
Reinhard.
Pass auf Farah.
Und bevor sie reingehen, kannst du versuchen, sie noch zu halten.
Okay, where you're playing is fine in case they have anything that can snipe. You're no danger whatsoever. You don't need to see where they are as mercy, so your position is really good. Pep can heal D.Va pretty consistent. That is true as well. And even if they full rush your D.Va, you can still throw Immortality. Because against Goats, which they're playing right now, your Bastion on high ground is no danger of dying. Unless you forget about him, their D.Va is just flying into him with rockets. So that's the only time where you have to keep track of your Bastion. But generally, you have 3 supports. One of your supports should look at your Bastion from time to time. So you just put your D.Va on point and pocket that guy until your Bastion killed everything with the shield. Like you put the shield for D.Va on card. But let's see what happens. No, I can't see something any. If they play Goats, by the way, you don't have to hide in here if they play Goats, because who's gonna kill you? No one. So you can stay out here and try to see if you can get info as well. Generally, the position you're playing is the right one, because in case they have something that can shoot through, like if they have something like a Widow that shoots from here, you don't want to be the one dying because you're the one that can rest people. So you should be the last one to die and play safe. But they play Goats, so you can also get info.
D.Va muss contesten. Wenn
Yeah,
sie
D.Va
zu
must
nah
contest. Okay,
auf
that's
dem
good
Point
call.
sind.
Die wir contesten. Wir können droppen.
Yeah, but okay. Here's the problem. As soon as he drops, if I remember, record sits in the facepalm game. But sometimes they run there. Wait, run where? Up here? You mean? People should tell you if they run up here, and you should already be rotating through the corridor. If they go below you and run up here, you should be on the other high ground behind you and set up, because then they will have to walk through this corridor against the Bastion, which is no value at all. They'll get shredded to pieces. So you have to rotate. Now, one problem you guys are doing here, as soon as your D.Va drops, you already need to be having the heal beam on him. And that shield needs to already be on point, so you can't get shot by the D.Va and Zarya. So the only one that can hit your D.Va will be Rein and Brig. And the shield will block Zen damage, that kind of stuff. So your D.Va is basically your main tank at that point, on point with the shield, trying to not die. And you already have to have the beam on her.
D.Va muss contesten, wenn sie zu lang auf dem Point sind.
Die wir contesten. Wir können droppen.
Yeah, look, she gets instantly demacked. Now, I think she... And now your frontline will have to drop, which is not good. Because your Risa will most likely die. Damage boosting the Bastion here... If it's mid-fight, I would do it. Like, if it's mid-fight, if they have no more resources, I would do it. Because then Bastion will just clean up. But they probably still have some Matrix, they have some shields left, they have Brick Pack. At this point, you just try keep your frontline alive on point, so they don't die here. I don't think you should damage boost this guy. I think you should heal your D.Va on point and your Orisa if she drops eventually. Like, look, right now, all they have to do is, as soon as your D.Va dies on point or your Orisa, they can just play below the point right here. And your Bastion has no angle on them if they play below the point, like towards Ticket Booth over here. And your Bastion has no angle, so you can't shoot them anymore. So you have to make sure, in order for your Bastion to get value, you have to make sure you keep the guy that's on point alive. Because otherwise they will just hide. If your D.Va's playing this side, and you shield here, they can't just hide here, because they don't get capture progress, right? He gets 2k. Well, yeah, but that's not worth it.
Targets, noch Targets. Ist noch Widow, ist noch Widow.
Look, like, you have no one on card, and they just C9 you. If you keep your D.Va alive on point here, you'll get more value in general.
Wir wechseln.
Wir müssen auf Goats wechseln.
So the biggest mistake you guys did there, the first one was your Orisa did not put a shield for your D.Va when she dropped down, and the second one was you did not hard pocket your D.Va when she dropped. Anyone dropping into Goats will die. So pocket that guy.
Haben gedroppt, aber wieder nicht
Should I go to the right high ground? No.
Oder Jay,
You don't have to. Unless your D.Va wants to drop. If your D.Va says specifically, I'm gonna drop, like, let's say this is the point. You guys were set up here. This is the other high ground. If your D.Va says, I'm gonna drop ticket booth, not ticket booth, phone booth, then you can go to this side to pocket him. But since she dropped here, you just stay here and hold left click on her. And that's good enough. That's good enough.
Na,
Oh, sorry.
versuchen, oder? Nee, es macht irgendwie keinen Sinn. Der kommt.
Zen gut. Warte doch nicht.
Alright, you swap to Goats. He's still in Orisa. Okay, he's gonna swap now.
Wartet, wir sind noch lange nicht
That's
da, ne?
fine.
Wir müssen noch swappen.
Ja.
Oh, my neck. It's good, I think holding a window with Bastion should be fine as well. Weapons and healing, there should be enough time for you, isn't it? You mean the window above point? I'm not sure. There must be a reason for it. Does the phone booth give cover? Also, I think the problem with that is the problem with the window. Okay, if we look at that window, if this is the window, this is the other high ground. The problem with this is that they will get access to this high ground for free, and they can walk at you. Now, this fight might still be I haven't tried this. I'm not sure if you win this fight with Baptiste Lamp in here. But the problem is, until they reach here, they won't lose any resource. And if Goats has full resource to cover this distance to you, it might be rough. So I'm not sure. And also, I don't know if the ticket... Why do I call it ticket booth? The phone booth on point might get covered so you can cap on point. I'm not sure. The thing is, when people rush to us, we always fuck up the rotation, even if it's called. Okay, then I don't know. Someone's not doing it right then, or someone's reacting to it too late if it's called, and you have to talk about that. Whoever is not reacting to it needs to react to it. Jen, panicking, yeah, that too maybe.
Okay, speed.
Okay, that speed is fine. You're already close enough. That's fine. That's a good boop. That boop is good. You booped that brigand, right? What the heck? Yeah, the brig here. The trance is fine on defense. So generally, generally on attack, you don't want to trance like this to save someone unless it's a fight you absolutely want to win, and it's very winnable even if you trance. But on defense, you can try to clutch fights with trance because you have to take every fight. Okay, they shattered you. Good block. Brig's deep. Look, now you don't have a trance, so you have to be careful with your tracking. If you know, good kill on Diva, but if you know they have graph, you have to be careful with your trance and saving people. But it's okay. Red Ice XP, I'm so aware of these little timings. The bubbles? Bubbles are very important. It's probably it's one of the most important resources in Goats v Goats.
Huge! Nice. Oof.
That shatter actually saved your ass. You should have lost that when they grabbed you, because you had no more defensive ulti at that point. I think they grabbed a bit too early because the Rhine wasn't in position to follow up. But yeah, shatter was good. Good hold here. This is a hold that was actually important. They used shatter, fucking rally, trance, and grav. They're gonna have Diva Bomb and beat maybe. They used a lot of ultis to kill here, and I think you're gonna be close to grav because I didn't see your grav. I'm not sure. This high ground here. It's okay if you want to ambush, like if they walk through here and you ambush and you drop into them and they didn't scout it properly, it's fine. But if they go this way and just push the card, if you're on defense and you have to run after the card, it's not great, because if you want to reset for, like, here's the thing. If attack has to run after the card, if they want to reset, the card's just not moving anymore. But if you're defense, you run here and you have to reset, the card just keeps moving and you have to keep running back at it. So going from behind on the cart is it's not bad if it works and if you do something they don't expect, but it can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. The rest is better than us. I see.
Drop.
You know what we were doing here?
Ryan?
Like right here it works. If they walk straight below you and you drop into them from high ground, you win, because your Zen will just stay on high ground and fuck everyone up with discords. And you aggro drop into them, and they can't really deal with it properly. They have to walk around.
Ryan.
I would have preferred the corner in front. Fine, good graph here.
Zen is links,
Your Ryan's
Zen is
low.
links.
Yeah, right here.
Zen is links.
That call is good. Right here, when you graph and that Zen is here, you have to make a decision. Either you full commit on the graph or you full commit on this guy. Someone has to make a call. You call Zen left, but right here you should call rush the Zen left with me. Get speed aura on and fuck up this clown and get him, because your Ryan's already low. Your Ryan can't swing because this angle he has is actually really good on your Ryan. And he actually kills your Ryan because your Ryan can't, like, your Ryan is here and he gets shot in the back from this. So you have to make the decision. Either you run through them and fuck them up in a graph, or you run at the Zen here. Now both are fine decisions, but you have to make one quickly. That's right, he will shoot us all in the back and kill everyone. Yeah, I mean, that's what he did. So someone will have to make a call here. A decisive call and quick call. Don't beat here. Good dodge. Okay. Here's the thing. If you have double defensive, first of all, if you have beat and trance, you always beat the shatter, because I already said that yesterday, because Reinhardt will usually look for a pin on someone and beat he'll set up, whereas through trance you can still kill someone, and as trancer, like as Zen, you will have to body block the Rein, but you can't always do that depending on where it's shattered. So generally you want to beat the shatter. However, the biggest problem wasn't that he tranced as well, the problem was that you guys didn't communicate what you were going to do if they shatter. That's the bigger part. You say they have shatter, if they shatter we beat it or we trance it. Just talk about it.
Click.
Yeah, I didn't talk about using ults, so now one thing is good, you wall ride it here, you dodge it, so improvement. Good job, Jen. Now your beat is fine,
Sorry.
but you double ulted. That's neither of your fault. The fault is that you didn't talk about which ulti you were gonna use. You didn't plan. So yeah. Even though normally we have beat for shatter. Yeah, you just need to talk before, and even if it's like said, even you say in reviews, hey, I'm gonna beat the shatter every time, you should still be like, hey, in the game, I'm gonna beat their shatter, so you know. Like these situations, they're highly. This is a lot of stress in these tournament games. Maybe he doesn't remember from things. Like he's not gonna think back to, hey, what did we do 2 VOD reviews ago? Oh yeah, I remember now. It's not gonna happen. So it's important that even if it should be obvious, you tell everybody what you want to do. He don't know if I had it. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't know sometimes. Like, just make sure to say, I'm gonna beat their shatter, or I'm gonna aggro beat, or something, so your team knows. In GOATs, it's the most important thing, that your team understands what you're gonna do.
Wir sind gleich da. Haben wir noch Zeit?
So generally,
Wir sind wieder 6.
okay, let's see.
Ja, wir können aber nicht mehr contesten.
Ja, ist egal.
That's fine. If you don't contest here, you play this corner where you're holding right here. You don't want to play in the open here. It's not good. So let's see where you play.
Pass auf.
Don't go closer here now. Oh no! Ooh, that hurts so bad.
Wir müssen zurück.
Okay, right here, yeah, you can't hesitate. If your diva gets bopped right here, don't be like, oh my god, I can't believe it. Get the fuck out. Or you say, we hold here anyways. Someone has to make a decision right now. Don't be like this thing where you get upset over it. It doesn't help, right? So you have to make a decision right now. Either you stall the card here, so you move to card, or you get the fuck out and wait for diva. I would get the fuck out here and wait for my diva to respawn, because you don't have a lot of ults anyways. So right here, look, you're still. No one knows what to do. They're still staring at them, and you give them a 6v5 fight. Suck at making decision. It takes some time. But it doesn't even have to be you. Anyone can do that. It's just you lose your Rein now because you hesitated, and your Zarya, because that graph they're doing is actually good, because it staggers your Zarya a lot. And if they go back, like, it's gonna be so hard for you to go to card now. So right here, someone has to make a decision. You get out or get in, quickly. It has to happen quickly. It doesn't matter which one. It doesn't matter which decision you make. Okay, just make one quickly.
Ja, okay, ich kann auch das.
Du bist hinter uns?
You probably didn't see it. Well, you can see in the kill feed top right.
Ryan.
The shatters you're doing are sick. Okay, good clutch fight. Good clutch fight with the shatter. Bruh.
Nichts hinein. Einer bleibt auf der Pit.
Oh, my neck. Oh. That's a good shatter. But yeah, make a decision quicker there if you can. Anyone. I saw it before kill. Oh yeah. Okay, if you see it before kill feed and you know she doesn't have boosters, just be like, get out. Tell your team, get out, get back. Yeah, my neck hurts. I slept like an idiot, I think.
Haben Sie Shadow?
Like, I like the way you guys counting down. Now, generally, you can't really do 3-1 countdowns against goats because the diva can eat it. But generally, you say, I'm looking for grab, and then you grab whenever you can grab, and when it's not getting eaten. But it doesn't get eaten, so I don't blame him for it. It's good what he's doing. No, if she had boosters, it's still, I mean, your diva should be like, I'm dead. As soon as she gets booped, she knows she doesn't have boosters, she should be like, I'm dead. And then someone says, get out. That kind of stuff. Okay, that's Shatter.
Speed
Wait,
is.
let me check. You get their break and their mech. You don't need to invest more into this fight. The Shatter is unnecessary. You can literally just walk them down. Just walk into them. And they'll have to... The worst that will happen is they will back off if you don't overcommit. So don't use more ultis. Like you Shatter and then you want to beat as well when you're up to.
Speed is.
Oh, you speed.
Speed is,
Not
speed
beat.
is, speed is.
You speed.
Ryan, no
Okay.
shield, Ryan, no shield, Ryan, no shield.
Ryan.
Nice boop.
Ryan, no shield, Ryan, no shield.
That was a
Lucio,
really good
Lucio.
boop on that Reinhardt, by the way.
Zarya.
That's the kind of stuff you want to do always. You go above and boop this clown back in. That's what you want to do as Lucio. Very hard to counterplay as goats.
Okay.
So what you did there is what you want to do almost every fight. That was really good.
Pass auf.
Ja.
Oben ist Ryan.
Let's see.
Ja,
Okay, you have trance and beat again. Call which one you want to beat and which one you want to trance. I tried to do more, but fuck up and die. That's right.
Shadow?
Pog you! You're talking about it.
Ja,
Oder Transfer Graph?
Yeah, transit. Okay.
Versteck mich.
Nice.
Ja.
Good.
Nein, 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 nein.
If they have,
das ist gut.
they have shatter, you can't get shattered.
Ja, ich bin auch so.
Okay, you're gonna have to beat now. You have to beat now. Okay. You see, this fight is even right now. You trans the graph. You talked about it, which is really good.
Glaube ich Shadow.
Now you say they have shatter. Now, generally that's fine. If the card will have to push here, you can keep your beat. But this is last fight, so the card will have to go here. So if the fight goes south for whatever reason, someone's overextending, or they use more resource, or they use their resource better, you have to beat here. Like your Zarya, she dies here. As soon as your Zarya dies, you'll have to beat, and you have to aggro. Because the longer this fight goes without your Zarya, if she gets like 2 bubbles off again, you lose. Because bubbles are too strong. So make sure you aggro beat right here. As soon as you lose someone, you aggro beat if it's last fight, where you have to push it here, and you push someone down and try to get the advantage back and overwhelm them. So you have to make a player. Look, if they deal from here, yeah, the speed is good, but it's not good enough. If you aggro beat before this, they will maybe Diva bomb. The Diva bomb is worthless because it lands behind you. You rush them down, and he can't shatter either. So you have to make a quick play. As soon as you lose someone and it's a fight you absolutely have to win, you have to make a play. You can't play this 5v6. I think Zarya was low. I don't think she called it. Yeah, okay, so generally, if she dies there, it's not your fault. You can't react to this kind of stuff with Beat, especially because with Beat he does this stupid jump like let's break it down shit, you know. So it's not something that's instant like trance. So you can't react to it. If your Zarya dies, Zarya dead, Beat and go aggro. If it's a fight you absolutely have to win. You can't wait around and let them win a 6v5. The longer 6v5 goes on, the better for them, because they will have the resource of the 6 guy and you don't.
Ich glaube, wir hätten schon alleine für Stevie beat.
Yeah. Anyway, so generally, makes sense. Is generally the biggest mistake as a team. I'm giving you a team thing. The biggest mistake as a team was that there you go. The biggest mistake as a team was that you didn't track their ultimates and didn't have counter setups most of the time. Generally, you had setups for your own team, which is good. It's a good start. But you didn't really track what they were going to do. That's the biggest thing as a team. And for you as Lucio, make sure you wall ride a bit more on these walls so you don't get shattered. And make sure if you amp up, your teams are close to each other in Goats v Goats, so they can't back off. Those are the biggest things I would take from this right now. So as a team, try to look for counter setups. And personally on your Lucio, try to wall ride a bit more and make sure your amps get max value. Hab mich ja versteckt. Ja, das war gut. Das war gut. Generell war das eigentlich ganz gut, was ihr gespielt habt. Ich war impressed mit... why am I talking German? So I was impressed with the DPS combo right now first. You actually absolutely destroyed them. And then the smart thing, most teams get greedy. They're like, oh my god, let's go again. And like someone's like, let's swap to goats. And some guy's like, but I have freaking, I don't know, I have a barrage, dude. No one gives a fuck about your stupid barrage. Just swap off to goats. They swapped their Zen to Ana. If you swap to goats right now, you win. Because Zen goats wins against Ana goats. So don't keep your stupid barrage. No one cares about it. That kind of stuff. So that was really good what you guys did. I like that you listened to the call. You said swap goats. You swapped the goats. You have Zen goats against Ana goats. You destroyed them on streets completely. So that was really good. Now on third point, you struggled because you didn't counter what they did at all. I gave up Velk for it. Good. Fuck Velk. It's worthless. Alright. I hope that helped. Are there any more questions? Or are we good, Jen?